Hey everyone, welcome to Pipes, Tobacco, and Whiskey. So today I've got two special guests here at the Angeles International Pipe Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are at the Palace Casino.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And, Palace Station Casino.
Palace Station. Yep.
And having a great time. Today is Saturday actually, and we're in the midst of our show. And I've got two wonderful pipe carvers for you today. I've got Stefan Cashwell of Cashwell Pipes, and I've got Kevin Foster from Foster Handmade Pipes. Guys, you need to check these pipes out. You're going to have a great time with checking them out, getting on their Instagram, and hopefully one day owning one of these pipes. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thanks
I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us.
So,
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
I want to start with Stefan. Stefan, how did you're relatively young in the pipe world.
Yes.
How did you get started, first of all, with smoking a pipe?
Ooh, smoking a pipe. Big fan of C.S. Lewis, and he smoked a pipe, and that just made me, at around age 18, I was like, okay, it's time. I was at college and went into a tinderbox and bought a basket pipe and decided I was going to learn how to smoke a pipe. And
like, what was this, 2024, 2023?
It's 2007, all right?
Okay, well, that puts a little bit of age on you.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, you went in and got what was your first blend? Do you remember?
I do. It was called Philosopher.
Ooh. All right.
I knew nothing about it, but it was an extremely smoky English blend. It's probably the reason I don't smoke English blends today.
Do you remember is that a C&D blend, or is that a? I've
don't
heard
know.
that name before. And did you get that? You said at a tinderbox?
Yes.
Yeah, in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, in Alpharetta.
Yeah. How about that?
That's so
I didn't even
funny.
think they still had tinderboxes.
That's hilarious.
That store has
Yeah.
since gone.
Yeah.
I bought my first pipe in college at the Tinderbox in Lennox. In
Let's
the mall.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So you two live like what? 3 miles from each other? Or
Pretty
something
much.
Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Got that much talent in one block, one
Seriously.
city block.
One zip code.
Okay, so you started when you were 18.
Yeah.
College?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did you study?
Studied jazz guitar.
Jazz guitar.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was my major.
Yeah, and you couldn't cut it? Is that what it was?
I'll tell you. Yes, they gave me a piece of paper that said I could play music.
Did you graduate? You got
Yeah,
a degree
yeah.
with it?
Yeah.
Nice. What college did you go to?
Georgia State University.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, being a musician, going through college as a musician is difficult because the whole purpose, it seems like, is for them to weed you out.
Oh yeah.
That's the whole purpose.
Yeah.
I started my freshman class in college with 40 music majors, and I was the only one to graduate with a music degree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's tough, man. There's a lot of theory that makes it more difficult than people expect because you think,
sure.
I'm going to major in, let's say, jazz guitar. Well, I'm just going to do a lot of playing, a lot of jamming, and that's what I do.
No.
You do very little of that comparatively to everything else.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Kevin, what about you? How did you get started smoking a pipe?
Such a similar story, actually. So I started at Georgia Tech and went to the Tinderbox at the Lennox Mall and bought a basket pipe. And also a different blend that I no longer enjoy, but it was one of their, I want to say it was like a peach aromatic. Yeah. So.
Well, being from Georgia, it had to be peach.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
Okay, so how old were you?
18, also.
That's a good age to start.
Yeah.
I started when I was 18 as well, but I'm a little bit more seasoned than you guys are. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got into pipe smoking. When did you find that moment where you thought, okay, this is going to be a part of my life? This is something that's really I love.
For me, it took a while. I kind of set the pipe aside for quite a while and stuck more with cigars for a long time. And then COVID hit, and I don't know what, just sitting around for so much of the time. I don't know, something I would like, just decided I wanted to try a pipe again. And had the free time to dive, of course, fully headlong back into everything to do with pipes. And now, here we are.
Yeah, I mean,
Here we are at the Las Vegas Pipe Show.
Same question for you. I mean, did you have a moment where you went, this is it?
It's really funny. I've always had a fascination with pipes. But yeah, COVID hit, and I hadn't smoked a pipe in a long time, and I dug out. I was actually on tour, and it was my first bus tour. So I was finally on a bus and not in a sweaty van with 6 other musicians. And so I bought myself at the time what I thought was an extremely nice pipe, and it was like a $80 Savinelli.
Oh yeah.
And I bought it as a celebratory just kind of tool. In between, I was home for 4 days between runs of the tour, and I bought it and was smoking it and enjoying it. And during that time, everything shut down, and I was like, oh man, I really wish I hadn't spent all that money on this pipe, but like, here we are, and I've got it. And it's actually smoking and making all kind of like at the same time.
Hit it once, huh?
Just kind of like bit me at once, and
Yeah.
it all just kind of grew and fueled each other, you know.
I bet COVID was tough on musicians, man.
It was not fun.
Yeah, I mean, finding gigs and,
Well,
of course, the airline
That just
industry
all went
too.
away.
If you guys didn't
Yeah.
know, Kevin's a pilot for Delta
Yeah.
Airlines, and for the airline industry, that was a really tough hit for you guys.
Luckily for me, it's a union job, so I kept most of my pay and everything during that. Most of it.
Well, good for you. I know
Yeah.
a lot of guys that really had to work for that. I was
Yeah.
retired through all of that, so
Yeah.
it didn't matter for me. I stayed at home, whatever. All right,
Yeah.
so now let's talk about your pipes. All right, so first of all, you're going to see more of this pipe, but this is a Stefan Cashwell blowfish that he made for this show, and it's incredibly light. I mean, I can't tell you how wonderfully this fits in your hand, and I'll do some pictures with it as we go along. But this has become my new McClellan pipe. This is all I'll smoke in this
take
pipe
that.
now.
That's awesome.
That's a high honor.
This is really, really a great pipe. So tell me a little bit about your pipes, how you got into that, what your process is, and all that.
It's been a fun journey. And I was telling Kevin the other day, it's really funny how the pipes that find you when you're first kind of starting, they leave a mark. They kind of do leave an impression on where you kind of head, I think. And so I was always into not very large pipes, but smaller pipes, comfortable pipes, and I'd rather just have it hanging than have to hold a pipe. That's always been something for me, and so I just kind of gravitated towards smaller pipes. And as I studied and I apprenticed with David Huber, and just that really opened me up.
That's a good role model.
Yeah, it's fantastic pipe maker. That's where the love of more asymmetrical shapes and really chasing the grain of a block instead of just turning something with the shape in mind, just seeing what potentially lies in a piece of briar became really alluring to me. And so I've spent the last year and a half or so really working towards that end. And
So how long have you been carving?
a little over 3 years.
Over 3 years.
Basically 3.
I have 2 of his pipes. I bought one in Chicago, and then I bought this one here at the Vegas show. And I have not been disappointed. I'm telling you that right now.
Thanks.
Guys. And eventually we'll let everybody know where they can see your pipes and stuff like that. Kevin, same question for you. How did you transition into the pipe carving world?
It started with I read a couple books And I really don't know, honestly. It just kind of happened. It was COVID. I read a couple books, and I just wanted to try it myself. And I found a community wood shop that's about half an hour drive away from my house. You know, they have all woodworking tools and a few lathes in the back, and bought a briar chuck and just started going at it.
That's hilarious. And you still use that every now and then, don't you?
I still use it for sandblasting, and hopefully that's going to change soon. I do plan to buy a sandblaster.
That is so cool that there's a place that you can go to and be an artist like that. You know?
Oh, yeah, it's such a cool thing.
Yeah. So, how many pipes do you think you've carved at this point? First of all, how long have you been doing it?
About 3 years also.
Okay.
And I've made about 170 pipes at this point.
Okay. All right. When you came up with that first pipe that you made, what was that like?
Oh, I was so proud of it in the moment. I still have it, and it's not very good.
You know, everybody says that about their first couple of pipes. They say, "Oh, it wasn't that good."
It's objectively not very good. Yeah.
What shape was it?
I was going for Prince, believe it or not, and it's not a Prince.
Like a church warden or something?
It's kind of like a triangular, oblong mess, honestly.
It's funny because your pipes now are awesome. This is a nice bulldog that I just got from Kevin. I have a few other Kevin Foster pipes. I've got, probably about 4 or 5 of them now.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And just some really magnificent work. All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So, where do you see yourselves going with this? I mean, this is not a full-time gig for you guys.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I mean, is that the ultimate goal for you, or?
For me, no. I'll always have my career as an airline pilot until I have to retire, of course. But yeah, it'll always just be a part-time, just passion project for me.
Stefan?
It's interesting, right? Being a musician, it's always been about having as many eggs in the basket as possible. And so, yeah, I don't think it'll ever reach a point where it's just full-time the only thing that I do, because I could never put down music. You know what that's like.
Let me tell you, the day I left teaching music was the hardest day of my life.
Yeah.
I bet.
It really was.
Yeah.
And still, I play still, and I still go out and help other band programs and things like that in our area.
Yeah.
But it's not like having your own,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and so it's music will always be something that I do, but it's my dream is that music would maybe I could pull back a little bit and maybe even them out. That would be
the Jody
nice.
Davis kind of thing.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, now tell us a little bit about your music career, because I understand that you actually have some music out there that's pretty popular in the ministry.
Oh man, I appreciate that. Had a duo project called Wilder and released that. I write for a bunch of different artists in the Christian music world, House Fires, Maverick City, David Leonard, artists like that. And so I write and then also, play and record my own music as well.
Is there anything out there that people could pick up and listen to?
If you go on Spotify and you can type in my name, Stefan Cashwell, and you'll find an older record, or you can type in Wilder, and it's me at a piano with another girl who is the duo partner for that band. And also, if you type in my name, I sing on a couple of the House Fires records. Check out that stuff. But
we'll have all that information in the description so that you can check it out if you get a chance to do that. Yeah, very cool. My biggest claim to fame in music was that I actually played with Maynard Ferguson, who was a jazz trumpeter back in the 60s and 70s.
Wow.
That's a pretty awesome claim to fame.
Yeah.
I got a double degree. I got a degree in performance and a degree in education. And it was a good thing that I ended up playing on the road with Maynard, because I learned very quickly that's not what I wanted to do. You can't have a family, really. I mean,
Yeah.
it's on the road, 260 days of the year at least, and it's absolute a beatdown.
Yes.
It is a beatdown, and that's just not the way I want. So I went the education route, and I've got a lovely family because of it, and it's,
You do indeed.
things want to work out.
That's right.
In one way or another, they
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Kevin? What do you see yourself? You said you're always going to fly,
Yeah.
but how much time, maybe let's just say per week, do you devote to pipe carving?
So it varies quite a bit. There's some weeks I'm just gone. I'm 4,000 miles away.
Yeah.
I'm in Europe. I'm in South America. So I get zero time with pipes. And then, like the last 2 weeks, I didn't have to go into work at all. So I was able to do essentially.
And it must be nice.
It's fantastic. Yeah. So like almost a 9 to 5 I can spend with pipes.
So you have a family as well.
I do.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
with your job, what do you fly, like 4 days every 2 weeks or something like
Our
that?
trips right now, so I do only international flying, and they're generally 3-day trips. And even then, like going to Europe, we leave at night, and we're back the third afternoon. So you're gone 48 hours. That's at a time, and I'll do at most 3 or 4 of those in a month.
In a month.
Yeah.
So you get to spend time with your kids. And,
Oh, a lot of time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your job is really kind of locally based, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
for the music ministry.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah,
And so you have kids?
I do. I have 4.
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
About this.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, it's uncanny how much you and I have.
I know.
I know. So the time at home, does that pressure you for your output of pipe, or do you feel like that kind of levels you, kind of smooths you out and you're better at it because of it?
That's a really interesting question. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it really levels me out because it provides, like I go pick up my kids from school, from daycare at a certain time, so I know like where I have to manage my time in,
Yeah.
and I go to get it done.
That's right.
Yeah.
And yours, is it more like a 9 to 5 job or something like that, or
Yeah, so
how does that work?
Yeah, so I worked at a church as well. So I'm there from like 9 to 2, basically, during the week. Then spend some time with the kids, go home, and then hopefully I can get a couple hours in the shop during the day. And that's the general routine right now.
Let's take this pipe for an example.
Sure.
How much time do you think you put into that pipe?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
That's always a tough question.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, because I understand. I've seen lots of guys that can shape the wood
Sure.
pretty darn quick.
Yeah.
But this part of it takes forever.
Yeah.
And then the other flip side
Right.
is where the guys can crank these rods out like crazy.
Yeah.
And they spend an inordinate amount of time trying to detail the wood. So,
Getting it to a place where it's recognizable as a pipe is pretty quick. It's just all the finer detail work that kind of drags it out.
And it does vary from pipe to pipe and shape to shape, like
Yeah.
what demands
Absolutely.
what kind of attention. It's tough. Yeah.
What's the hardest pipe for you to make?
Ooh, God, that's a great question.
I'll say
I'm
what
just
you
gonna
think.
go ahead. No, you go ahead, man.
So yeah, just like Stefan, I'm also trying to start pushing it into more freehand shapes and stuff like that, and that is very difficult for me because I don't have that like artistic training background. So trying to flex that muscle into kind of coming up with my own shape styles and things like
Something
that.
that you can call your own.
Yeah, that's the challenge that I'm working on now, and it's fun, but it's challenging.
Yeah.
If you were to model after someone with freehand pipes, who would be the person that you'd want to look at?
There's so many. There's so
You got to
many.
name one.
Well, yeah, but and then you also like, there's people that influence you,
Right.
but I also don't want to copy them.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's hard. I mean, Tom Elting is the first person that comes to mind for that.
So do you guys kind of both lean towards the Danish style, or is it?
Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, tell me again who you said you trained with.
Yeah, I've trained with David Huber.
Yeah, David Huber. And who did you
Nate
mentor
King.
with some?
Nate King.
Nate King.
Yes.
Yeah, and you did some work with Nate.
And I have also been blessed to go with Kevin and study with Nate as well on Kev's second trip. And can't thank Nate enough for what he's done for me.
Well, both of those guys are just heroes in the pipe industry.
Outstanding carvers and people.
Yeah. That's more important, I think, because like you guys, when I get a pipe, I don't want to just walk by your table and say, "Yeah, I'll buy that one," and then walk away.
Yes.
I want to develop a charisma, a character with you guys. You know, and I think that's one of the great things about this community is that.
Oh, that's 100%.
Yes.
I mean, not to go into too much detail, but both of you guys have been really, really inspiring for me and my family, and also just the kindest people in the world, man.
That means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you, Tom.
Ditto, Tom.
Yes, exactly.
Man.
And right back to you.
How happy I am to be sitting by you guys right now.
It's incredible. Like, not only me getting to know you, but also at least one of your sons, and your wife is here this weekend.
I'm really lucky with my kids. Our story was that when we started this channel, it was not something to try to go out there and become known, and
Sure.
It was an opportunity for me to smoke with my boys,
To connect with them, yeah.
And to get them off what I would consider junk tobacco.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's been successful, but the cool part about it is my wife is super supportive. My daughter does all my promo stuff.
Oh,
she
cool.
posts
I didn't
everything
know
on
that.
Instagram
That's
and
so
all
cool,
that.
man.
Nice.
Yeah, so everybody's a part of it, and so we all share in it.
Nice.
It's really fun.
Sure.
It's really fun. You're going to get to have that. You will too, because you got young kids too.
Yep,
don't
2
you?
girls, 2 and 4.
Yeah, you guys will get that opportunity to share with your families, and I just can't wait to see. You'll look back and you'll say, he was right.
Yep.
Well, and so how many pipes did you bring to the show?
I brought 8.
8. And how many do you have left?
I have 2 left.
Okay, guys, let me tell you something. And Kevin only has 1 left, right? How many did you bring? Oh, you sold it. Yeah. All right. How many did you bring?
15.
Okay, I saw that guy standing down there buying your pipe. Yeah. You were messing with your phone at some point. Yeah. Well, that's great. So tomorrow, you get to just chill, man.
Very much.
So
Get my chance to walk around and do my own.
So what's the experience difference between selling a pipe and just being able to walk around and enjoy the show?
It's a lot more relaxing.
Yeah, I bet. Hopefully Stefan will get to do that a little bit tomorrow.
He will shortly.
Oh, yeah.
He will shortly.
Yeah. That is so cool, man.
Yeah.
That is lighter. And nobody in this place has butane. Nobody.
You're not the only person that's looking. Yeah.
All right, guys. So where can we find your pipes, Stefan?
You find my pipes on my Instagram page. I post there. I take commissions, and then I meet at the shows. I'll be at Muletown coming up. My Instagram handle is Cashwell_pipes. You can see what I'm doing there.
And we'll post that in the description so you guys can find that easily. You're going to be at Smitty's?
I'll be at Smitty's in January, then Muletown, and then Chicago. And
nice.
There we go.
Yeah.
And Smitty's is not that far off. We're talking about 3 months.
Right.
Yeah,
so it's
true.
It's not that far off. Kevin, where can we find your pipes?
The same thing, Instagram. So almost 100% of the pipes that I make are either at shows like this or commissions. Reach out to me. Instagram is Foster Handmade, and
we'll post that as well.
Yeah, send me a message or see you at a show.
Both of you, your commission lists are active right now.
Mine is, yes.
You're taking commissions, okay? And let me tell you guys something. Although these folks take good pictures of their pipes, it doesn't do them justice.
It's hard.
Their pipes are so much better in your hand. So if you see something you like in picture, you're going to doubly like it when it gets into your hand.
Yeah,
I
let's
promise
go.
you.
Thanks, Tom.
I promise you.
Thank you,
Okay,
thank
well,
you.
guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoy your show.
It's a privilege
Yeah.
and an honor.
And, well, gosh, you have low expectations. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Come visit their Instagram pages so that you can see their work, and then contact them if you're interested in a commission. Thank you, guys. Don't forget, make all your piping moments count. We'll see you next time. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.